Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Good Saturday afternoon out there, everyone. Welcome to your number one source for Native American television news. It's Muskogee Vision. I am your host, Jason Salzman, as we join you on this Muskogee Creek Nation Festival Saturday. It's all happening out at the Claude Cox Omniplex, and if you got time, get out there to check out all the festivities that are going down. All kinds of things happening today and entertainment later tonight. So there's something for everyone. Get on out there. It'll be a lot of fun. But we've got a great show for you. If you're going to want to stay inside, stay cool for at least 30 minutes, we've got a great program coming up. So don't go anywhere. You're watching Muskogee Vision here on CW19.
Make a memory by coming back home. Make a memory by immersing yourself in Muskogee culture. Make a memory that will last a lifetime. Make a memory at this year's 44th Annual Muskogee Creek Nation Festival in Okmulgee.
Make your memories with 4 days of free family fun at the Muskogee Creek Nation's annual festival, June 21st through the 24th in Okmulgee. For more festival information, visit creekfestival.com. And welcome back to the program, and we're going to get started first of all this week with a big bit of news out of Muskogee, Oklahoma, as Bacone College held a press conference last week to announce that they will be reopening as a streamlined institution in the fall. Some big news that they got. Actually, a local businessman came forward, bought some properties off of them. That's going to put some money in. They're expecting students be enrolling in the fall too. That'll put some money in. But the struggles at Bacone College, specifically with some of the financials and being able to keep the doors open, have been in the news recently. If you've been in Oklahoma, you've seen the news, you know that that institution, I believe, is 138 years old. So it is an institution of Oklahoma, not just in stature, but in name, recognition, everything as well. So wanting to keep that place open, we went to the press conference, got the information from the Bacone leadership, and here is that for you today. Despite rumors and reports of closing, flags are still flying at Bacone College.
Our intent is to remain open with reduced faculty and staff.
Bacone leadership assembled media for a press conference on Friday, June 15th to announce that the college will be cutting some sports programs and personnel, but will ultimately be able to reopen a streamlined institution before fall. New President Dr. Ferlin Clark talked about the challenging and rewarding aspects of accepting a tough assignment.
Well, I've been here 4 weeks and I walked into a storm, but as Native people are, I took that as a challenge and took it as an opportunity to help bring Bacone back, and it's been a really tough situation. A lot of the executive team left and resigned, and then there was a layoff, so I walked into that. And working really diligent to break down the financials and then also look at some of the gaps, the breakage within our systems of finance, governance, student services, maintenance, human resources, and it's a 138-year-old institution, the first institution of Oklahoma. And I know a lot of Native people love this institution. They met their spouses here. They had great educational experiences, and so that storyline right there is really important, and we want to keep that going into the future.
A big part of the announcement was the revenue that would be brought in from the sale of Bacon's adjacent shopping center properties.
The other part of the announcement was a purchase agreement of part of Bacon's property, a purchase agreement of the shopping center, the old shopping center, Bacon Commons now, for $3.5 million. That agreement has been entered into. Of course, it takes time to close out those agreements, so it's going to be a while before we actually receive any of the funds for that property. But it certainly gives us an option to do things that we weren't able to do until this purchase agreement was made.
Local grocer Bill Johnson has entered into the agreement with Bacon and was pleased to grow business and assist the college in its hardship.
We're purchasing the entire center, and I will be planning to move additional businesses into the space that Bacon is vacating. And so by doing that, they're able to meet their immediate budget needs, and I think that they will then be able, they've announced today they'll be able to build their program back, and they'll be able to build their donor base back. So my part in this announcement today is simply purchasing the property.
President Clark talked about the serendipitous nature of this agreement with Johnson.
Out of the blue, we received this offer from this gentleman from Muskogee, Bill Johnson. This place has a spirit of its own. It has, it brought me here, and that spiritual light, he found it in his heart somehow to come and make an offer to purchase Bacon Commons, and that's where some of our student services programs are. They all used to be on the main campus anyway. So as we wait to receive the full offer of $3.5 million, we're also able to get a loan against that. We're in the process of getting that loan. But I know students, I know faculty, and I know the communities, and they're anxious concern about Bacon. So being able to make that announcement today with Chief Adams, our board president, is really noteworthy. Gives us a chance to begin bringing back some of our recruiters to go out and start recruiting students on a full court press, we're calling it.
While the leadership knows the task at hand will be tough, they were glad to be able to make the announcement.
Well, we're all pretty excited to make sure that Bacon stays open. We all feel a sense of relief for that because we were in a difficult financial position, but we're happy, we're excited, we're glad to be able to move forward. We thank the community of Muskogee for supporting us and being with us and praying for us, and it's just a very positive day for Bacon College.
All right, I want to thank all the people over there at Bacon for having us, and also wish them the best of luck. You know, it's a tough road they're having to go down right now, but one that we hopefully see some good news out of, and we'll continue to follow that story as it develops and more things happen there at Bacon College. I do know that the Creek Nation was approached about some financial help there to the college, but they couldn't get anything worked out. So we will keep you developed as it pertains to Bacon College, if there will be anything from Muskogee Creek Nation as well. So all of that right here on Muskogee Vision and MuskogeeMedia.com. Well, our next story is one that's pretty unique. I don't know if you guys out there, I know you're fans of Muskogee Vision here, but long-time running TV show, Antiques Roadshow, where they appraise items, everything like that. One of our Muskogee Creek citizens had original allotment documents appraised on Antiques Roadshow.
You just don't know what's really going on behind the Antiques Roadshow. You just see it on television. But when we got there, the appraiser, I showed him a piece of jewelry first, and he appraised that. And then I had these frames, and they were wrapped up in a towel. So he opened them up, and he looked at them, and he was so interested because he said that I've never seen two documents, you know, from the same era. And my grandparents' enrollment numbers are one after the other. When they were enrolled, my grandfather enrolled first and then my grandmother enrolled second, so their numbers were consecutive. And he was so excited to see the signature of our chief at the time. He said, this is a document that, chiefs, we've lost signatures, we've lost everything that's on them, but we have this signature. One is dated 1902 and one is dated 1905. The best part about it is we still own the land. We still own my grandmother's allotted land. The house is still standing there. People are still living in it. We still farm it out that we have there. We have no plans to ever sell that land. And after it was almost over, then he gave me the appraisal on what these documents would be worth. And he said I would appraise them even with, there is one water damage on my grandmother's. He goes, but that wouldn't matter. He said I would appraise them at $600 a piece. And I was just thrilled, not that I'm ever gonna get rid of them, but just the idea that as tribal people, we have a history, and if we don't pass it down to where they come from or where we had things, a lot of our allotted land is gone. So I'm just encouraging Native people all over, Oklahoma, to try to find their documents and try to save them to what we have. That's the most interesting thing, is that we have this, and we should be proud that we were given this and we treat it well as good stewards of the land.
And a neat little story there. I know a lot of people out there, you watch Antiques Roadshow. It's not every day that you see somebody have original allotment documents. And in fact, there, as Ms. Thomas said, those are really some of the only ones that anyone has ever seen. So very neat little story there. And Virginia Thomas, good to see her again. For years, in charge of the Paget, and did a lot of JOM with the Muskogee Creek Nation. So she's certainly been on the program before, but it was neat to kind of have her on the program, having nothing to do with the Paget or JOM, but such a neat story like that with Antiques Roadshow and those documents. So I want to thank her for allowing us in and being able to tell that story. Well, we have done other stories too with the Muskogee Loan Fund. They're doing all kinds of things, financial literacy classes. They recently held a financial literacy workshop with our summer youth that come to work in the summertime at different Muskogee Creek Nation departments. This workshop that they had was for business owners or prospective business owners, Indianpreneurship.
Today we're at River Spirit Casino and Resort. It's one of the locations we picked for our Indianpreneurship, small business development training. We call what we do at Muskogee Loan Fund business boot camps. Much like our friends in the military, you learn life skills that save your life. Sometimes it's unpleasant, sometimes you discover you're stretched and pushed. Our business boot camps help you do the same thing for business owners. Show where they're weak, show where they need to grow, help them develop skills so they have the best chance of succeeding.
As a business owner, that is absolutely the most basic thing you have to do. Setting up an LLC is fairly simple to do. You can have an attorney do it, or you can set it up yourself.
It's very fast-paced, but very informative. Excuse me. They have several guest speakers that come in that are very knowledgeable. They'll field questions, and we now have a good understanding of how to structure our business plan so that we can get financing through financial institutions.
People need to be able to tell the story of who their business is, why it exists. They got to understand the why first, because when things get hard, they need to know why are they doing it. We did a group activity earlier in the day where we divided the group up and they were assigned to create a fictitious business, a name, a logo, and who are they going to try to reach, what kind of product are they going to try to do, and how are they going to get that message across. And it was a 30-minute from meeting the people at the table to they had to present. But what it does and exposes is there's a lot to consider in running a business well.
And this class is very helpful. It's given us all of the ins and outs of what we can expect, how to make a successful business.
All right, that will wrap us up for this week's edition of Muskogee Vision. We certainly thank you for joining us, all of you out there, not only our CW12 audience, but all of those on our online channel as well. We want to thank you and encourage you. Tell your friends, get everybody to push that red button. You get all of our stuff on demand, our content as it's uploaded right there in the palm of your hand or your device, whatever you're watching on, laptop, iPad. We take it all. We will appreciate viewers from all of those. And so we want to encourage you to keep watching us there. And we also want to encourage you to get out to the festival. And as we leave you today, we're going to leave you with some highlights of past festivals, to kind of give you an idea of what you're missing if you haven't been able to get to one or if you're not out there today. It may be raining today too, so take your raincoat, be safe out there. I have talked with the festival committee and all the people that put it on. Weather updates will be available out there, so keep an eye on that. Everybody go out and have a great time. We'll see you next week right here on Muskogee Vision.
Chickasaw, Cherokee, Ute, Shawnees. Okay, Yogi, where you at? Shahamatara, Mahasranga, Hamaganari,
Oh,